All right, let's talk about a car that's honestly more of a legend than it is a machine. We're diving into the story of the Ferrari 250 GTO, quite possibly the most valuable car on the entire planet.
So let's just start with a number. $70 million. Yeah, you heard that right. That is what somebody paid for one of these cars in a private sale back in 2018. I mean, it's a number that's just kind of hard to wrap your head around, isn't it?
And that's really the big question we're going to tackle today. How on earth does a car, any car, get to be worth that much? What's the secret sauce? Well, let's get into it and figure it out together.
Okay, so you might be thinking, that $70 million sale, that's a one-off, right? An outlier? Nope, not at all. I mean, look at the public auctions. One went for over $48 million. Another one, more recently, for over $51 million. We're not talking about cars at this point. These are basically major financial events. And that makes where this car came from even crazier.
To really get the GTO, you gotta rewind the clock to the early 60s. Ferrari was pretty much king of the hill with their 250 GT short wheelbase. But, things were heating up. Competition was getting really stiff. I'm talking about game changers like the Jaguar E-Type showing up. Ferrari knew they had to do something, and fast, if they wanted to stay the champ.
And the battlefield? It was the FIA's Group 3 Grand Touring category. This was the big one, the premier league for sports cars that you could supposedly buy and drive on the street. Winning here wasn't just about a trophy. It was about prestige, it was about sales, it was everything. So yeah, the pressure was definitely on to create the next big thing.
But of course, there was a catch. There's always a catch, right? And it's this word you gotta know: homologation. Basically, to prove your car was a real GT car and not just the pure race car, the rules said you had to build at least 100 of them for the road. For a small, exclusive outfit like Ferrari, making 100 of anything was a massive, massive problem.
So, what's a company to do? Well, if you're Ferrari, you get creative. In a move that is just peak cleverness, they basically went to the officials and said, "This new car? Oh, this old thing? It's not new. It's just an update, an evolution of our last car." And you know what? The FIA actually bought it. This little bit of clever paperwork is maybe the key reason why this car is so unbelievably rare today.
And wow, what a car they built. It was like the Avengers of car design came together. You had the engineering genius Giotto Bizzarini on the chassis, the artist Sergio Scaglietti forming that stunning lightweight aluminum body by hand, and the heart of the beast, the legendary Colombo V12, now making 300 horsepower, hooked up to a brand new 5-speed transmission. The whole package was just perfect.
Now, the big boss, Enzo Ferrari, he had this famous saying. He said, "Aerodynamics are for people who can't build engines." Classic Enzo, right? All about the horsepower. But the funny thing is, the GTO itself was about to prove him, well, a little bit wrong.
Because just look at that shape. That was not an accident. That long nose, those beautiful curves, and that signature chopped-off tail, the calm tail, that was all science. It was all developed in a wind tunnel. And what it meant was that this car was rock-solid stable at insane speeds. We're talking over 170 miles an hour. It made the car an absolute weapon on the track.
All right, so we've got the clever backstory and the gorgeous looks. But that doesn't make you a legend. Winning does. And boy, did the GTO win. It didn't just win, it dominated.
I mean, just take a second and look at this. We're talking 3 FIA GT World Championships in a row, 62, 63, and 64. It won its class at Le Mans 3 years running. It took overall victory at the crazy Tour de France automobile. The car was just relentless. It was an absolute dynasty.
Okay, so to be fair, let's add a little context here. In those first couple of years, 62 and 63, the competition in its specific class wasn't exactly fierce. The GTO was kind of the big fish in a small pond, you could say.
But then came 1964, and everything changed. Because that's when Carroll Shelby and Ford unleashed the Cobra Daytona Coupes. These things were absolute monsters, built with one single goal in mind: to dethrone Ferrari. The fight that year was epic, an absolute heavyweight battle. But when the dust settled, the GTO had done it. It had held them off, won that 3rd championship, and sealed its place in history.
So you've got this amazing origin story, you've got total domination on the track, but that still doesn't quite explain $70 million. For that, you need that extra magical ingredient. You need mystique.
And the mystique really starts with one tiny number, 36. That's it. That's the total number of 250 GTOs they ever made. Remember that little homologation trick?
Well, it accidentally created one of the most exclusive clubs in the entire world.
And here's what made it so special. It was the ultimate 2-for-1 deal. Think about this. An owner could literally drive his GTO to the track, race for hours, win, and then just drive it home. It wasn't just a race car. It was a road car. It was both at the highest level. Nothing had ever really done that before.
And you might think a car this successful would be a beast to drive, but it wasn't. Just listen to the great Sir Stirling Moss. He said it was a very forgiving car, easy to drive. So it was incredibly fast, but it was also friendly. That combination made it a total favorite with all the top drivers of the day.
Okay, so let's fast forward to today. Because the GTO isn't just a vintage race car anymore. It's something else. It's a piece of art. It's a blue-chip investment. It's an icon.
I mean, get this. An Italian court has officially, legally declared the 250 GTO to be a work of art. That gives it the same kind of legal protection as a famous painting, to stop people from making copies. It's basically in the same category as a Monet, except you can't drive a Monet at 180 miles an hour. It's incredible.
And this might be the most mind-bending part of the whole GTO legend. For pretty much any other valuable thing on Earth, a painting, a rare comic book, even other classic cars, the more you use it, the less it's worth, right? But the GTO flips that completely on its head. Driving it, racing it, adding miles, adding to its history, that stuff actually adds to its value. It's the only ultra-expensive asset that literally begs you to go out and have fun with it.
You know, when it comes right down to it, maybe the best summary comes from someone who actually raced it and won in it. The American world champion Phil Hill didn't mince words. He just said it was a fantastic car, the best GT car in the world. Simple as that.
So that leaves us with this final kind of fun question to think about. When you combine the genius engineering, the jaw-dropping beauty, the total domination on the track, and that insane rarity, you have to wonder, is the 250 GTO the greatest car ever made? Or is it the greatest investment you could ever actually drive? Something to chew on. Thanks for joining me.